This is Season 5 of The Score, the Team Roping Journal's podcast, where we cover the roping industry from top to bottom. This is where the team roping world talks. We talk through tough subjects, we talk big wins, and we talk real issues affecting the community. I'm your host and editor of the Team Roping Journal, Chelsea Schaefer. Hey everyone, this is Chelsea. Welcome back to the Roping Tips podcast. We're so glad to start bringing you these again. I know things have been a little hectic and we haven't been super reliable on giving you Saturday morning roping tips, but we're back. This one is one I think you're really going to enjoy, especially the time of year. Everybody's wanting to get outside. Maybe you've got 30, maybe 60 days on a colt and you want to start doing some cowboy stuff on him. So we tabbed Miles Baker on roping.com to provide us with some outside riding 101 tips if you are going to be day working, doctoring, branding, anything on a colt. Here's how not to blow up your rope horse in the pasture, courtesy of Miles Baker.
Question we got asked two different questions about riding horses outside. One was the best way to approach roping on them outside without causing a problem, and two was taking a young horse outside when it was ready and knowing if it was ready and making sure you had everything under control when the time comes. So we're going through our colt starting series. I may take a colt outside on the 10th or 15th ride, but it's everything, the intensity's low, everything's super chill. A lot of times what horses don't know about won't scare them. So if a horse doesn't know to be scared of something, then they may not be. So if I can just go right across the pasture and normalize just a real chill, low-key ride across the pasture, it's going to help out later on. But horses, if you've started your horse in the arena or in a round pen or something, the safest thing to do is make sure that when you ask for different cues, like if you pull a direct rein around right or left or stop them or back them up, make sure that you've eliminated all resistance. That way if something scares them outside, or if they get out there and they're wide open, you can always pull a direct rein around and get their head to you, and kind of like we've talked about in our colt starting series, keep them pulled around until they quit moving their feet, and let them know that that's the release, just to work at slowing their feet down and getting some control that way. There's a lot of horses that, sure enough, cowboy guys take outside from the beginning, and all horses are different. There may be horses that you have to kick them from day one, and you're kicking them after you've rode them for 2 years, and you don't have to worry about pulling them around. This question come from somebody that rides running bred horses, and the best thing for those horses in the beginning is teaching collection. Pulling a direct rein around, making sure that no matter what you ask for, that horse is always coming back to you and always responding. That's the best thing to put into a runner in the beginning anyway. So that's even more reason to reinforce that in the arena before you go outside. But another thing is, like on these 2-year-olds that were riding outside, when I take them outside, I may just be going and checking cattle. If there's a situation that I could get them into that may not be a good experience for them, I'm going to take something else. If it's going to catch something, going to pin something, or maybe even going to push something from one pasture to another, I'll take a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old we're roping on, that anything that comes about that day, they can handle it, and it would be good for them to get out and do a different job other than getting rode in the arena that day. So mainly just pick your battles, know what you could possibly be up against. Riding outside is obviously not always a controlled environment. You don't know what you're going to get into. You don't know what's to come. So the main thing is just preparing your horse for anything that could come up while you're out there.
Are you ready to instill the spirit of excellence? Four-time world champion and Smarty founder Alan Bach knows that in order to be a pro, you have to train like a pro. Keeping the roper's needs in mind, Smarty offers an extensive line of training products for ropers of all levels and disciplines. If you need it, we have it, including a complete saddle and apparel line to keep you and your horse in style going down the road. For more information on products, training camps, or our Smarty Young Pro incentives, you can follow us on our social media pages, or you can check out smartyroping.com. If it's not a Smarty, it's just a dummy.
So another question we had that pertained to riding outside was starting a horse outside roping and how to handle it and how not to cause problems. Outside can be a really good experience as far as the roping goes. There's been a lot of good horses blown up outside, and there's been a lot of great horses that were made outside. One of our best head horses right now doctored cattle on wheat pasture for 2 years, doctored cattle outside, and it was all he knew. And a lot of horses come out of it maybe blown up or with some issues roping, because roping outside is not a release of pressure. There's a lot of pressure. It's wide open. Cattle are running. You don't have the control you have in the arena. You can't judge the start. You can't pick the cattle. It's not a controlled environment in any kind of way. So if you can approach it right, it's the best experience you can give to a young horse as far as roping. But the one mistake that I see a lot of people make is if the question comes from setting up angles to make your horse successful. So to answer that question, my dad taught me from a young age, and the guys that I grew up cowboying with, if you've got a sick calf to doctor, you need to work him through the herd, sort him out, push him way out away from everything else, so that if he circles you and runs back, no matter which way he goes, you have plenty of real estate to catch up, to let your horse take his time, especially on a young horse. If you're going to day work for somebody and you're getting paid to do a job, you need to take a dang good horse so you can get the job done. If you don't have much time to catch up and rope them, you need to be able to do that. That's your job. But as far as roping on young horses, you need to set the environment. You need to control that. Push them out away from the herd. Set it up where you have them headed in a direction where you've got all day to catch up, and slowly, gradually let your colt catch up. Don't just drop the hammer and blow to them. It might work on some horses, like we've talked about. There's a lot of horses that you're going to spend their whole life kicking them. But a lot of times it's the more talented horses that you can blow up by dropping the hammer on them all the time. So take advantage of having a wide open space where you're not about to get to the end of the arena. You're not about to get to, you got a calf that runs, you got to catch up right now. Take advantage of the wide open space and teach your horse to just cruise to a cow and go find the cow and lock on. Give him a second to get there and track. If you blow 2-1 and rope him right when you get there, you're not going to teach him to lock on. You're going to teach him to just blow to him and stop. So take advantage of the uncontrolled environment and take advantage of the clock ain't running. Take advantage of being able to, if it takes you 100 yards to catch up, just ease to a cow and take your time, rope them, track them, set everything up and make it perfect. And like I said, it can be a bad thing. I've seen a lot of guys blow up good colts doctoring wheat pasture cattle, and that's that horse's job. It may not be a huge loss to them. They saving cattle, doctoring them, but for us, training horses, that's a huge tool that we have that helps us out being able to doctor cattle outside. So it's something that if it's done right, it truly helps. Just take advantage of the wide open space and the time and make everything perfect, and just really utilize the situation to your advantage.
Thank you so much for listening today. Remember, if you like this kind of stuff, we have a whole library of videos with Miles, with Trevor, with Jake Barnes, Clay O'Brien Cooper, Matt Sherwood, so many people on roping.com. If you use the promo code TheScore15, you'll get 15% off. Thanks. Check it out, roping.com, and thank you to Smarty for sponsoring this episode.